Every 10th of December is observed as a Human Rights Day. It is a day that the United Nations General Assembly adopted in 1948, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The declaration was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in Paris as a common standard of achievements for all. This year marks the 70th anniversary for the UDHR. TVC News correspondent Celestina Area tells us more.
The Human Rights Day is celebrated annually across the world to mark the first global enunciation of human rights, one of the first major achievements of the new United Nations. The formal establishment of Human Rights Day occurred at the 370th plenary of the General Assembly on December 4th, 1950, when the General Assembly declared Resolution 423, inviting all member states and other interested organizations to celebrate the day as they saw fit. In 1979, Nigeria moved to a presidential system in order to properly institute rights of citizens to choose who rules them, and crafted a new constitution. The 1979 Constitution enables Nigeria to translate international agreements into domestic laws and obliges all branches of government to respect and ensure the rights are implemented in their regions. Despite being provided for in the Constitution, the violation of human rights has been on the increase in recent times. Citizens are denied their right to peaceful protest through unlawful bans, use of excessive force, harassment and arbitrary arrests. Brutalization and torture of suspects to get confessional statement is the order of the day. Security operatives show faces of criminal suspects being paraded who are presumed innocent until proven guilty, and tried by the media without fair hearing, and unlawful detention has become the norm. The unscientific method employed by these agencies have become a source of concern to citizens who share their experiences.
Was at beggar, so I waited for a while. What I noticed was coincidentally I saw two men, one front, or the other one's by the back, jumped into the car. Forcefully, the person that jumped into the car from the passenger side front demanded forcefully my phone. I said, why? Who are you to demand for my phone? You jump into my car unpronounced and you demand for my phone. The guy said, do you think I was playing bring a handcuff? And at the same time, he brought ID, fake ID, and flashed it. Said he was a police officer. I said, okay, if you are a real police officer, please, at that beggar there is a police post. Please, let's quickly go there. Let them identify you, then take me to wherever you want. The guy insists, brought out handcuff. I said, no, you can't handcuff me. I'm not a criminal. They brought out gun to shoot. I said, shoot. So at the point when they know that I was adamant, and I had my way, and I ran into the police station, they followed me. When we got to the abattoir, from the gate, immediately I stepped my foot down. The beating started. About 8 of them. They beat, they pushed, they do all sorts of things, and rough-handed me to one of the rooms.
Up to this point, have they told you offense?
No offense yet. At the time when they beat, after a very tough beating, I will shout, please, you have not said what I've done. You are beating me. So at the time they stopped, but they beat me up to got to SAS office around 6:30. From there they beat me till around 11:30.
I was in Kwara State, Ilorin to be precise. I've been harassed by the policemen. Can you imagine? They asked to check my phone, like they were forcing me. That they really need to check my phone to see if I was like, no, you don't have any right. You didn't see me with anything. I was in the cab. I was even with my ID card.
In our environment today, you can be moving on the street from one place to another, you can be arrested. Police will just see you and just start harassing you. It's wrong. Going out from one place to another in the night, maybe around 8, 9 o'clock, police will harass you as a citizen, innocent, maybe from work. Going to the house and police will get you arrested for raiding. They call it raiding, I don't know how they call it. And when they push you to the guard room, or they call it cell. from the cell, you have to grant yourself bail for doing nothing, for not offending, for not violating any law of the land.
We read that in the book. Maybe it happens somewhere else in the world, but in a country where I don't think you have any right here, except if you know people, if you are connected. Sure, except if you want to really deny the facts. There's no way you can be an ordinary citizen of this country without, experiencing such things. Your rights will definitely be violated, even by the people that oppose the law.
Waiting to pick back to Maraba. So on our way going, police stopped us on the road along a Mopo quarter side. So they didn't ask us anything. They just tell us to enter motor. I said, for what? They said we should enter motor. Now, don't I know that this is late hour? I told them that I was just coming back from Kano, where I went to buy my goods. They said no, that I must reach to the station first. So I followed them to the station. It was the next day that my people came to bail me out with 5,000 naira.
The Constitution protects civil and political rights, but international treaties like the African Charter also expand protection to cultural, socio-economic, and group rights.
Irrespective of the fact that we are signatory to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that was declared by the entire world in December 10th, 1948, am I right? Now we are signatory to it. Not only that we are signatory to it, we have domesticated it into our own constitution, ranging from section 33 down to 46 of the 1999 Constitution. Those rights are there. We are not talking about the principle of state policies that are under Chapter 2. That which we are even asking that they should make it fundamental human rights. But the ones that we have made fundamental human rights, are we experiencing that right? Going by the security agency, by the government itself. The highest violator of human rights in Nigeria is the government. I have my proofs. You are elected to serve, and you are driving on the road with own taxpayers' fuel money. You violate the road signs, you keep people at will. We have a lot of rights, child rights are there. Yet we see people in the streets, children begging, roaming the street at the school hour. What is happening? National Human Rights Commission can receive a complaint, adjudicate on the matter, and all the awards and recommendations can be enforced, like that of a judgment of the court. How many of them has been enforced? We are just deceiving ourselves. The world are laughing at us. If you are talking about human rights here, you are on your own.
Judicial officers and legal practitioners have also been victims of human rights violation by the security agencies.
I'm told of an incident that happened in Badagry involving a lawyer and prison warders. It also happens fairly commonly with the police. And most of the times, it is in the course of the lawyers doing their work that they get attacked. We find these incidents totally condemnable, and we call on the heads of those institutions and indeed all security enforcement agencies to call their men to order. The attack on lawyers must stop.
Gender-based violence, an aspect of human rights violation, is a growing problem, especially domestic violence, sexual exploitation, early marriage, and rape of minors.
Battery of women. There has to be that advocacy that informs the men that your strength does not lie in how brutal you are to the opposite sex. That your strength actually lies in how gentle and caring you are with that member of the opposite sex. Is enforcement of our laws. Where the law says this is what should happen to somebody who has raped, for example, or who is caught in human trafficking persons, then we must make sure that the process of having to administer that justice is not clogged.
Prisoners and detainees are reportedly subjected to extrajudicial execution, torture, gross overcrowding, food and water shortage, inadequate medical treatment, which could result in death. These human rights activists suggest how Nigeria can be more human rights friendly.
Following the constitution, we have a constitution in Nigeria which enshrines the human rights. People that have been arrested and they've not been charged to the court. People that have been charged and bailed and the government has done nothing to respect the court order. We know people that have been bailed but they're still in detention. So I think the government should really respect the rule of law. The constitution is the ultimate law that governs Nigeria.
Although Nigeria has been active in signing and ratifying international human rights treaties, the task successive governments face is trying to implement these treaties domestically. Celestina Area, TVC News, Abuja.